He just quit, he's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race.
So what I want to say is it's the jet lag and also the cold.
One person I feel pretty sorry for in all this actually is Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary. Here she is anyway, just exhaustedly trying to come up with some combination of reasons that could justify that debate performance, presumably as we ultimately prepare the way for another candidate. Is it jet lag? Is it a cold? Is it dementia?
There's no question that international travel can be rigorous. I think the confusion is that he's still suffering from the effects of that nearly 2 weeks later. So can you articulate a little bit about, do you guys usually have accommodations for him after he does a trip, that he's going to have jet lag for that long a period of time?
We're in the autopsy of that performance. We're in the autopsy of Joe Biden's presidency. Either he runs and loses to Trump, or they put forward Kamala Harris, who presumably still loses to Trump, or they take some sort of radical Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom step and presumably still lose to Trump in a sort of a fair and balanced bout, one might assume. Remember, this is the 4th of July. This is Independence Day. In our country, there are elections, but what we're really dealing with now, I think, are various sets of institutional systems trying to cling to power through authoritarianism, which they cannot overtly declare, so have to justify through crises. If there isn't a pandemic or a war, then Donald Trump is the crisis. They have to frame the election as saving democracy itself, but that narrative can't be sustained now that we've all seen Joe Biden in his natural environment that appears to be sort of weary senility. But spare a thought for Karine Jean-Pierre, who not long ago was just a little girl with a dream, who achieved that dream and just found that ultimately it's like cleaning up a cat litter tray filled with turds of dementia.
So can you when you say 2 weeks later, what do you mean?
Well, the debate, he arrives back in the United States 12 or 13 days before the debate. So his explanation for a poor debate performance is jet lag.
So what I want to say is it's the jet lag and also the cold, right? It is the two things and that occurred. And you all heard it in his voice when he did the debate, right? And it is not even something that we shared ahead of time. You heard it in his voice and we confirmed it. And I think that's important to note as well. Like, it is the jet lag and the cold.
Jet lag and the cold. It's jet lag squared. It's cold plus. For a moment, zoom back and reflect on the level of excellence that you would really require from a person who occupies the position of what amounts to world king. Are you able to fulfill that role if you are tired or if you have caught a virus in a world where viruses seem increasingly likely? The answer has to be yes. Or indeed, maybe consider whether or not you want a role called world king, or you might want to look at decentralizing power wherever possible, having some nominal head of the United States of America, federalizing wherever possible, empowering governors and states and towns and cities and boroughs and principalities as much as possible, rather than continuing to prop up a system that's expiring before our very eyes. Look at that sort of gerrymandering and manoeuvring of information as compared to the casual, off-the-cuff, out the back of a golf buggy, lackadaisical, spitting truths and disses and bars quite lazily there with the clubs on his back, Donald Trump, while being secretly filmed by a member, presumably of one of his own golf clubs. Look at the difference between the management of information here we're seeing from the official White House press secretary. It's a cold versus plus jet lag versus Donald Trump just going, he's out, he's over, he's a pile of crap.
You gave me so much. How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh,
Amazing. Kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, he's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
Thank you.
Off he goes just to continue playing golf quite casual and relaxed in this, while the Democrat Party apparently collapses into total panic, spiraling and decline as their whole narrative, as their whole strategy disappears down the toilet. If indeed it is to be Kamala Harris, we better have a look at her. We better look at how she campaigned when she too was pursuing the nomination as president. We better look at what her skills are when she's out interacting in public. Potentially the next president of the United States of America. How does she communicate when unbridled and free?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
That's right. We exist in the context of all right. Okay. Again, no, it's difficult. I don't understand that one either. But nevertheless, it looks like she is being maneuvered into a position of unimaginable power. Biden is facing, it says here in the legacy media, increasing pressure to withdraw his candidacy following the debate performance, and it's likely to be Kamala Harris. A CNN poll published Tuesday found that Harris was within striking distance of Trump. She could strike at him in a hypothetical matchup, 47% supporting the former president and 45% supporting Harris. So it may yet become real. Glenn Greenwald reminds us that in 2020, she called Biden a racist, and the New York Times, the legacy media that's now backing her, didn't like her. I do remember that moment when she called Biden a racist, and I thought, oh yeah, she's kind of a plucky individual. This is interesting. But when you see her speak extensively, there are a lot of peculiar slogans and poems.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Here's Donald Trump talking with Tucker a little while ago on the subject of Kamala Harris, saying that she speaks in rhymes a lot of the time.
She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But
she seems pretty senile, too.
She speaks in rhyme. You know, it's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
in rhyme? What do you...
Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future.
Maybe we created a monster. Maybe we created conditions that were unreasonable. What do you want from a leader? Do you want someone that's mind is based in logistics and operations? What do you expect from the government? What do you expect from a president? Is it reasonable anymore to expect them all to have some Clinton-esque trick like a saxophone, or to be good at keeping a soccer ball up like Tony Blair, or to be affable and charming? What is a president now? Are they post-Reagan all essentially actors? What do you expect from a leader? Do you want dedicated and devout public servants, or do you want a showman? What is it? Is it just a symbol now? Do you think anyone's really capable of holding up the freight of the level of world power that the United States currently wields? Do you think that any of the individuals we're discussing now are capable of tackling the peculiar problems of emerging financial models that will oppose the dollar in the process of de-dollarization? Do you think there is a person that is available to us that can help with the escalating conflict between Ukraine and Russia, events in the Middle East, opposition increasing against China? Who is it? Who is it? Which individual human being can tackle a problem of that magnitude? Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble, it's Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You've got to stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is going to be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands, run not by a family but by a single man still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've
I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you, Gordon? You're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now, pick up your first bag, use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Why choose, you know? Okay, back to the content.
And will it be that different tomorrow morning when we wake up under the...
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.